You're very welcome along. It is day number 4 at Millstreet CSI 3-Star International for 2016. It's class number 5 of our international competitions. It's a Table A. It's the Longines World Ranking class, 1m50. And it is, of course, the Millstreet Masters. 13 obstacles with 16 jumping efforts. The time allowed here today is 86 seconds. In the arena, number 1 for Great Britain, it's Laura Rennick with MHS Washington. MHS Washington, a previous winner in this arena last year. Laura also won the 5-year-olds with a half sibling to MHS Washington just last Wednesday. As she approaches the post box now at fence 9, left-handed to the oxer at number 10 before right-handed on a bending line to the sailboat. She's still clear approaching the last line. 2 big oxers. It's 145 by 160 wide. And the last fence, 145 by 170 wide, which is fence number 13. Great way to start out the class. She's clear all the way in a time of 76.97. Of course, our clear rounds, should there be 2 or more, come back for the jump off against the clock. But it's number 2 on your start list to join us. It's Louise Sable. She has had fantastic form with Mr. Darcy already. She calls him the Wonder Horse. He's 15 years of age. He's by the sire Darko, and the dam sire is New de Garadon. It's owned jointly by Sarah Hancock and Graham Lovegrove. So a long run down from fence 1, down the hill to the tall European FEI Championship fence, the vertical at fence 2, left-handed back before a shortish 4 strides up the hill, the Red Mills vertical to the oxer with the water tray underneath. Right-handed now to the Irish Bowron with the music notes, vertical, right-handed, going forward to the oxer in, vertical out, left-handed to the oxer now. For the long run around the arena to fence 8 ABC. No problems there. Number 9 now, the vertical, the post box. It stands at 152 centimeters or 1.52 meters. Left-handed again for right-handed to the sailboat, and then down the last line, oxer to oxer towards the pocket. On course, it's Louise Sewell with Mr. Darcy. She goes the 6 strides down to the last fence, comes inside the time allowed as well, which is 86 seconds, and no faults to add. So 3rd run in the arena. It's the 3rd run for Great Britain. It's Lance Whitehouse. He is riding C'est Sepel. It's a 9-year-old by Cordobes. And the dams are the Anglo-Arab Monsieur. No problems at fence number 1 and 2. Left-handed now to the Red Mills vertical. Yes, short 4 strides. You can see Lance struggling to get the short 4, having both the vertical and the oxer down. Goes 5 strides down to the Titanic oxer at 6A. for that long run around the arena, coming up the hill. It's the triple, vertical, vertical, 2 strides oxer. Very good at the post box with the post stamp underneath. Goes down the last line, or the second last line, in 6 strides. Before going the 5 stride option on the last line. So Lance choosing to go 5 strides. Louis Sewell went on the 6 on that last line from 12 to 13. But unfortunately, Lance picks up 2 time faults as well as 12 jumping for 3 efforts on the floor. But it's Captain Jeff Kern, number 4, the first in the arena for Ireland. He's riding the Peter Rice bred Shannondale Rahona. It's by Shannondale Sarko Singavan out of a Cavalier Royale dam. It's owned by the Minister for Defence. Of course, the sire Shannondale Sarko Singavan by Darko, standing with the Walshes in County Clare. Jeff, an incredibly natural, talented rider. And moves up to get the 4 strides. Very well ridden, jumped in small and gave himself plenty of room inside. Oh, that was a cheap rail to have. The horse just not quite getting high enough. You can just see Jeff noticeably up in the pace now. He was hoping to be a fast 4 faulter, but unfortunately 8 faults. Coming to the last line now. Will he go 5 strides or 6? Looks like 5. Yep, gets the 5 strides. Has a quick time, but unfortunately 2 on the floor, which leaves him with 8 faults. As we go back to Great Britain. No, we're going to stay in Ireland. It's number 5. It's Soviso by the Sir Timeless out of a Kigali dam. It's the KWPN horse ridden by Angela Percy. So Angela going down there on 12 strides. Trying to keep a nice even rhythmical canter. You can see that short 4 strides causing some trouble already. Both 3 and 4 on the floor. That line between 3 and 4 is 18.5 meters. Vertical to oxer, slightly uphill. And that's quite unfortunate for Angela because the horse is jumping absolutely super for her. Really good jump. Moves forward, gets the 5 strides, comes home with a time fault unfortunately, along with 8 jumping. That's Angela Percy with Soviso, 9 faults. So a good start to our class. We've had 2 clears. Two clears, 2 8 faulters, a good way to start. And now it's Holly Smith. Holly is riding Quality Old Joker. She placed here. With Quality Old Joker, it's by the sire OBS Quality. But she won't be joining us in the jump off today. Again, fences 3 and 4 causing a problem. Like I said, that distance from the vertical to the oxer, it's 18.5 meters. And it's coming uphill. So the horse jumping out of the combination well, but unfortunately not jumping in so well. And Holly decides to retire. The horse just not on form for her today. So we go to number 7 now. This is Pippa Allen riding Hope Springs. Hope Springs, an 11-year-old by Nagano. The Damsar Quarko Van Het Grete Moff. It's a Belgian warm blood. So it will be interesting now to see what Pippa Allen makes of this line from 3 to 4. Of course, number 4, the Viking boat, representing the Viking invasion in Ireland. But notice it has a water tray underneath, which could, in theory, draw the horse's eye down away from the top rail. Let's see what she makes of it. Over fence 3. Horse really tries over fence number 4. It's a short 4. She did a great job as a rider to stay in balance. Already looking at fence number 6 before she even jumped. Number 5, great camera angle there. But unfortunately, part B at 6 comes down. Her sister Millie was over here 2 weeks ago for the Europeans. She's in Rio at the moment as part of a development squad. Already Team GBR prepping her towards future Olympics. So this could be a fast 4 falls. Gets the 5 stride distance. Yes, comes home in 4 in 76.96. That's our fastest time so far. So being the fastest 4, it puts her into 3rd position at the moment. Bear in mind the first 2 are going to come back to jump against the clock because they are the only 2 clear rounds so far. If we get more clear rounds in the first round, they will also join Laura Rennick and Louise Sewell into the jump off. Now this girl has been having a tremendous show. Double clears left, right and centre. It's our young rider Roisin Fagan from Mullingar. She is riding I Can. I Can, a 16-year-old now, by that great sire Canan. The dam sire is Galapagos. So unfortunately fence number 3 coming down, but rode really well. Kept it positive up to number 4. Very mature riding from this young lady. So the part A of the combination at 8 coming down. The horse just rubbing it off behind. Bear in mind, this is a 1m50 Longines ranking class. It's not going to be easy. Yes, that's a very good round. Coming home with 8 falls, but in quite a fast time as well. It puts her into 5th place at the moment. That's Roisin Fagan with I Can. So 1m50. It's sponsored by the Underwriting Exchange. Time allowed is 86 seconds. We're going back to Ireland again. It's Darren Hopkins riding the traditional Irish bred Mr. Cruise by the Stallion Cruising. And the Damsar is Clover Hill. This one owned by Leo Carey. This difficult line. Very well ridden by Darren. Horse just waited in the line for him. He was able to put on pressure on the point to take off to get the height and the spread across that fence. That oxer coming up the hill at 4 is 1m50 high and 1m70 wide. But I don't think it's the height or width of the fence that's causing the problem, it's the distance. The horse really needs to be rideable and is able to listen to the rider. Yes, gets the 5 straight to the last, but unfortunately time falls for Darren. So this is very, very clever course building or course design. You have to have the horse adjustable and to be able to jump in a little bit smaller over the vertical at the Red Mills fence. Land, sit and wait to get your short 4 strides, but still have enough forward momentum to jump the oxer at fence 4. Then, because you've had to wait, that's adding more time. And at the opposite end, you need to be inside the time allowed, which is 86 seconds. So no hanging about. You do need to make up your stride patterns all the time. And any moment of lapse of concentration or indeed an issue with any rideability will be found out here today. Underway, it's Kenneth Graham. Kenneth, the winner of one of our boomerang qualifiers. Kenneth from Muff in Donegal in Ireland. And there goes that vertical again. Of course the vertical quite gappy, just 3 poles, so very little for the horse to see as an obstacle. Kenneth is riding Lenamore Lucy Lou by the sire Luxie, and the Damsar is Dutch Courage. It's bred by Barbara Fitzpatrick. Coming to the last fence now. Gets the 5 strides easily. And well inside the time allowed as well. That's good enough for 8th place, even though there's 16 falls, which is 4 fences on the floor. But she's quite young. She is only an 8-year-old in this 1m50. So no doubt she will have learned something from today. As will Kenneth. He will know something more about his horse for their next day out. So constantly looking to improve. It's Dermot Lennon now. Dermot, of course, a winner of one of yesterday's classes. He is riding the stallion Valiant. It's a 14-year-old by Horlaloi. And the Damsar is Lux Z. Yeah, Dermot makes that look very, very easy indeed. I know one of Irish breeders, Conor Sheridan, will be looking on intently. He thinks a lot of the stallion. For the amount of mares he has covered, he thinks his strike rate is quite good. Certainly his linear scoring profile is very good. So just 2 from home now. Time allowed, looks okay. Gets the 5 strides, clear and through the finish. That's another clear round to add. 3 clear rounds now. That's 1 for Ireland, 2 for Great Britain in Laura Rennick and Louise Sewell. This could be very similar to yesterday's class, where 2 of our ladies from Great Britain were double-handed in the jump off. There was only 7 in there. 5 from Great Britain, 2 from Ireland. And Dermot came out to beat the lot. Of course, Dermot, no stranger to winning. He won the gold at the World Championships in Jerez in 2002 on that fantastic mare, Liscalgot. It's Gerard Clark now, number 13 to go. He is riding Rafiki, who is by Simba. Simba in turn is by Heartbreaker. The Damsar is Animo. This one was bred by Sandra Hamilton. It's an Irish sport horse. Unfortunately, the Oxford fence number 4 hits the deck. It lands in the water tray. Yes, gets a little bit deep there to number 7. The horse just can't get out of the way quick enough. Jared using the time at the bottom of the arena to just rebalance the horse, present him as best he can, as straight as he can, to the triple combination at 8. Going outside fence 5 to come to fence number 10. That will probably cost him with the time allowed. 86 seconds the time allowed. Yes, he's going to be over the time allowed. So he's going to add here, I imagine. Yes, goes on the 6 strides. And it's well into time falls. Finishing on 15 falls in total. It's Gerard Clark with Rafiki. So you can just see there the likes of taking the time after fence 7 to rebalance the horse, not quite keeping up, covering the ground in the canter and keeping the rhythm. And again, like adding a stride on the last line from 12 to 13. All these extra bits, they take time out of your time allowed and you wind up being over the clock. As we go now to Mikey Pender. It's number 14. He is riding Z7 Cordanos, the 5th. It's by Katoki, who was ridden by Philip Weishaupt. And the Damsar is Lord Dance. It's an Olenberg owned by Team Z7. Mikey, a member of our young rider team. And I must stand and correct myself. He wasn't a member of our Young Rider team. He was a member of our junior team here at the European Championships 2 weeks ago. Oh, that is really disheartening. The time allowed obviously has been adjusted to 80 seconds. In fact, I hear from our stadium announcer it has been adjusted to 79 seconds now. And Mikey picks up one time fault, unfortunately. So he did all the hard work, jumped clear round, but as you can see the time allowed coming into play. So Sven Hadley, it's number 15. Sven from Galway in the west of Ireland. He's riding Quanbell. Quanbell, a 12-year-old by Quentin. The Damsar is Lenkas. It's a Holsteiner bred by Hans Meves. And it's owned by Hadley Sport Horses. Unfortunately, we have two fences on the floor fairly early at 3 and 4. Sven keeps moving. Goes forward down the line from 6 to 7. Gives the middle element to Rob at fence 8B, but it's alright. It stays in the cups. Sven keeping the rate up now. All the time moving, not hanging about. You can see him taking the inside lines. Moves up already. He's intent on getting the 5. Really has to gallop at the last fence. The horse not quite getting out in front of his leg. Just hung on the air at fence number 13, or 12 rather, and dropped short. Made that distance very long for him. He really had to work to get the 5 strides. So finishes with just the 8. It's Richard Kearns. Number 16, Calvaro Vanderitri. 14-year-old by the Sar Heartbreaker. And the Damsar here is Clinton. It's owned by Oliver Clancy, the Belgian warm blood, Calvaro Vanderitri. So that tall Red Mills vertical playing the price again at fence number 3. It's been very influential in this class so far. I think that's the first time part 6A has come down though. 7 has taken a little bit of a bashing as well. But very clever course building. It's 1:50. It's a Longines World Ranking class here at the CSI 3-star show in Millstreet, Ireland. So this one, like I said, by the Sar Heartbreaker, and the Damsar is Clinton. So coming home over the time allowed as well. It's 22 faults for Richard Kearns with Calvaro Vanderitri. 3 clear rounds still out there. It's Laura Rennick with MHS Washington. Louise Sewell with Mr. Darcy. And we have, unfortunately now, after the time allowed been adjusted, Dermot Lennon is on 1 time fault instead of a clear. And Mikey Pender also on a time fault. Graham Lovegrove now. Graham jumped here, winning the 148 Derby a number of years ago. He's visiting from across the small pond in Great Britain. He's riding Cobalt 2. This one by the sire Landus. The dam sire is Cassini 1. It's just a 9-year-old. And it's owned by Mick Sewell. Graham, of course, has a great team going there with Louise Sewell and Chris McGahey. Chris based with them since competing at a show a few months ago. Unfortunately, 8 faults so far. He told me earlier these glasses that he's wearing there, his stride goggles, and they're fairly effective. I think he's right with the strides. It's the horse that's letting him down slightly. Very accurate riding. Yes, comes home just outside the time allowed as well. The time allowed is now 79 seconds. So 3 down, that's 12 jumping. 1 time fault equals 13 for Graham Lovegrove with Cobalt the second. So 2 clear rounds and 2 on time faults. The 2 clear rounds are for Great Britain. It's Laura Rennick and Louise Sewell. And the 2 time faults are for Ireland. It's Mikey Pender and Dermot Lennon. Vincent Byrne now. He's about to set off with Carty. Carty is a 14-year-old by the Holsteiner Limerick, bred by Pete Tiernan. The dam is Tifcrum Girl, which is by Flagmount Diamond, and it's owned by Angela Taggart. So Vincent going down that line on 13 strides. Some have gone 11, some have gone 12. Vincent went 13. So unfortunately, yet again, that tall vertical, the Red Mills vertical at number 3, is on the floor. Taking the 6 strides down to number 7. That 1 meter 1 meter 60 wide vertical. 1 meter 60 wide oxer, in fact. Left-handed to the post box. Coming back now, left-handed again. To fence 10. Going across the arena. Jumping the sailboats at fence number 11. Right-handed. He's moving up already. He's going for the 5 strides. That last line is 23.3 meters long. And he's through. But yet again, he's got time faults. The time squeezed up quite a bit here. It's been adjusted from 86 seconds to 79. So he has 1 on the floor for 4 faults, but also 1 time fault, making it 5 faults. That puts him into 6th place at the moment. So next to go, it's Liam O'Mara. He's number 19. I met Liam on the course walk. He said, yeah, it's quite a sizable track today, sponsored by the Underwriting Exchange, but he said, I'm quietly confident. The horse being in great form, of course. It's Mr. Cool Calm. He is a 12-year-old by Cool Calm Hale. The Damsar is Indian Ruler. And Liam owns this one himself. Time allowed now quite tight. It's 79 seconds. Yes, really gets a great shot. Both at the vertical at 3 and the oxer at 4. Gets the 4 short strides, no problem whatsoever. Moves up to get the 5. Unfortunately, the horse drags its hind end through 6A. And Liam in trouble trying to get the horse back. And gets a little bit deep to the oxer at 7 down at the end of the arena. But no problems, it's still standing. Yes, that's a great job through the triple. 4 fences from home. Oxer, vertical, oxer, oxer. Really punches off the floor at the oxer at 10. Gives the vertical at 11 a rub. Just 2 fences from home now. No problem getting the 5 strides there. Comes home inside the time allowed as well. Just the 4 falls on the floor. That goes into 6th place for Liam O'Mara with Mr. Cool Calm. Just the 2 clear rounds. 2 rounds out there on 1 time fault. One of those we thought was a clear round. That was Dermot Lennon with Valent. But after the time allowed being adjusted, he is now 1 time fault instead of a clear round. Of course, the ground jury and the judges have the option of changing the time allowed at the request of the course designers if they feel after wheeling the track that it's jumping in a particular way. After a number of horses have gone, they have the option of adjusting the time allowed. Now here's one about to go that I really put my eye on yesterday. I think this horse is one for the future for sure. Just 23 starters, only 2 will jump off so far. Absolutely love this next horse. It's Laura Rennick. She's out there with a clear round already with MHS Washington. This time it's Otrilla de Breve. Otrilla de Breve by Loxley de Breve. And the Damsar is Hand in Glove. It's owned by John and Laura Rennick. So hopefully we will expect an exhibition of jumping from this horse. Laura's in there already with a clear round, like I said. She knows her way around the track. She knows the questions being asked. Let's see how she gets on. So this stallion keeps very good company. Look at that for an exhibition of jumping. Keeps very good company indeed. It has a half sibling which is eventing internationally to 2-star, and it also has a show jumping sibling by Carthago which jumps up to 1.30 m, but that is only a 7-year-old so far. This is an 8-year-old. It's one I really like. Look at that for Scopy Canter. Uses itself incredibly. Front end works, shoulder, back, hind end. Really nice, and it's rideable too. This deserves to go clear. Goes disunited, gets it back again. Ooh, goes slightly off the line there, but look at that for scope. And well inside the time allowed as well. Going forward for the 5 strides. Yes, that's a clear round if there ever was one. Look at the time as well. Such a scopy canter. She made up all those distances very easily, but still had the right ability to come back for the 4 strides between 3 and 4. That was an exhibition of jumping. So Laura already now double-handed into the jump off. Louise has one in there as well. Can she join with a second horse in the jump off? That would be 4 horses in the jump off divided by 2 ladies representing Great Britain. It's Louise Sewell. This time she's riding Patrol the 5th. Patrol, a 10-year-old now by Pikachu de Muse. Gets deep, but very careful. The Damsar of this one is Dosateurs. Louise was telling me she's a very good owner in a very nice Greek lady at the moment. Elena, if you're looking on, hello. We're fingers crossed here, hoping for the clear. no trouble at all. She's already in the jump off with Mr. Darcy. Can she join it now? 4 fences from home. She looks to be good at the time allowed. The time allowed is 79 seconds now after being readjusted from 86. 2 fences to go. Moving up for the 5 strides. She knows she must keep an eye on the clock. Punches off the floor. Waits for the 6. Gets away with it. Yes. Wow, this is going to be a jump off. 2 ladies representing Great Britain. 4 horses divided between the 2 ladies. It's going to be something special here today. It is a 1.50 meter Longines World Ranking class sponsored by the Underwriting Exchange. It's last to go. Stephen Crosby representing Great Britain with TGF Reuben. It's started by Compostello. The Damsars Cooler Reuben. And it's owned by Trevor Farrington. So we saw this horse go yesterday. It went quite well. He will have to keep an eye on the time allowed. Now, this difficult line. Have they mastered it? 4 short strides. It's a tall 150 vertical. Yes, they have. They've got the measure of that line now. Waits for the 6 strides. Jumps in and out okay though at 6A and B. So just halfway around our track now. He's at 45 seconds. It's going to be quite tight for him to get home, I think. He's 4 fences to go. And he's on 60 seconds now. Time allowed is 79. He's still clear jumping. He was still clear jumping. I've jinxed him. The commentator's curse. So he won't be joining us in the jump off. That means 4 horses, 2 ladies, both representing Great Britain. It's going to be a British winner today. So our jump off. Fences 1, 2. New fence on the course 15, 7, 8 A and B, 16 another new fence, and the final fence from the first round, number 13, galloping towards home, the Oxer that measures 145 high, 170 wide. I'm sure that will go up a hole or 2 now. The time allowed in this jump off will be 55 seconds and the length of the course will be 320 metres. I'm really looking forward to this jump off. We're going to take a short break to do the surface of the arena again, maintain it. We will see you after the break.
4:30. But at 6 p.m. in the indoor arena, we will have the Parade of Foes, which will be on sale this evening. Now it's an elite sale. All these foals have been specially selected for the sale, and they've all got real good pedigrees and bloodlines. But they will be paraded at 6 o'clock before the sale. And then at 8 p.m., the big one tonight in the indoor, it's the National Discovery Final for the 4-year-olds.
Have you seen this one before? Have you seen this one before? Have you seen this one? Have you seen this one before? No? Once upon a time in Ireland.
Can you hear me now? Lying in the
Have you seen this one before? No? Once upon a time in Ireland.
Can you hear me now? Lying in the span,
How about another story?
embedded in this written story.
Great stories stay with you forever. With thousands of things to do and see, find yours in Ireland's ancient.
Have you seen this one before? No? Long, long ago.
Can you hear me now?
I'll tell you one more.
Lying in the span, embedded in this written
You'll finish tomorrow.
story.
Great stories stay with you forever. With thousands of things to do and see, find yours in Ireland's ancient.
Well, we can't believe the first one off the area and should be with us very, very shortly for a very exciting jump off. Laura Rennick and Louise Sable. They've both got 2 each in it, so it's going to be interesting what they're going to do. Are they going to tackle with that first one or go for a clear and put the pressure on each other? First to take it on for Great Britain, Laura Rennick with Yatria Dubrev.
Now, how exciting is this going to be? Laura Rennick and Louise Sale both have two hands in this jump off. This is the one I really like. Utrilla Dubrev. It's a stallion, just an 8-year-old. The jump off again, fences 1, 2, so down the hill to this tall vertical, the FEI European Championships, turning right-handed to a new fence on course. It's the vertical number 15. It's 1 meter 50 tall, and it comes down. It's no longer 1 meter 50 tall. Fence 7 across the arena, the Oxer, left-handed now. It is part A and B, which was formerly the triple at 8. Left-handed back to a new fence again. It's number 16. It's the Oxer, which she's going to take on the angle before finishing at a gallop. The last fence from the first round, the big Oxer on the way home. Wow, that's a jumper. We're going to see a lot of this horse in the future. He has 4 falls today. It goes out there into first place at the moment. You can see Laura is absolutely delighted with this horse. She took the 5-year-old class earlier in the week with a sibling of her next mount in the jump off, which is MHS Washington. That was a former winner here at Millstreet last year. We'll see, can it be a winner here again? It's Louise Sale now. Louise Sale with Patrola 5th. She was second last to go in the first round. She needs to be clear if she wants to go into the lead. So a lovely jump off here. Starting over fence 1. Then down the hill to the tall vertical. The vertical standing 1 meter 50. Choosing to go the 12 strides. Being extra careful. Turning back not so tight to number 15. Has a waiting stride. So Louise using this to her advantage. She knows if she goes clear, she can really force Laura's hand, because a clear round is better than 4 faults, no matter how fast or slow she goes. Now, 1 fence to jump. If she leaves this standing, she goes into first. Very good. Bear in mind, she can finish no worse than 3rd, because she has 2 horses in the jump off. There's only 4 in it. 4 horses, that is. 2 riders. This is going to get very interesting indeed. Okay, so to go into the lead now, we need to be faster than 49.43 and clear. So we'll have a little bit of a wait now. The ladies have to swap mounts. So Louise Sale with Patrol the 5th gone. Laura Rennick with Utrilla Dubrev has also gone in the jump off. Next to go will be Laura with MHS Washington. That's the Irish sport horse which won the Boomerang qualifier here, or the Boomerang final. I can't quite remember from the top of my head, but it was only last year. It's sired by OBOS Quality. The dam sire is Cavalier Royale. And like I mentioned earlier, its half sibling won the 5-year-old qualifier earlier in the week. So this class sponsored by the Underwriting Exchange. 2 riders left to go. They're the same 2 riders that have already gone in the jump off. And following this 1 meter 50 Longines World Ranking class, we have the 1 meter 35 Speed Derby. Love the Speed Derby class. It's fantastic. Natural elements put into it. Along with show jumping, we'll be jumping from the sand onto the grass, back onto the sand again, up and down the banks. We might even throw a dike or 2 in there. And my co-commentator is going to know plenty about banks. It is, of course, Chris Ryan from the Scartines. He'll be joining us to co-commentate on the 1m35 Speed Derby, as sponsored by the Irish Field. That's the next class to come. We're coming back to the class we're watching right now. We are waiting on Laura Rennick with MHS Washington. She's next to go. She's already gone with Utrilla de Breve. Our course designers here have done a fantastic job. Gerard Lachey from Switzerland, assisted ably by Olaf Herrmann from Germany and James Tarrant from Ireland. And we have to say, uncharacteristically for Ireland, there hasn't been any rain. It's fantastic conditions for jumping. The wind not as strong as yesterday. Just a nice little cooling breeze, I suppose is the best way to describe it. Although my German compatriots here from Clip My Horse wouldn't agree. They're feeling quite cold. We get a different kind of cold in Ireland. It's not the temperature that matters, it's the chill factor from the wind. We can just see in the far off distance that is Louise Sale getting on Mr. Darcy, helped by her partner. That is of course Graham Lovegrove. Great team going there. Chris McGahey as well. He's with them since Bolesworth International just this year. And not forgetting, Mr. Darcy is already a winner here this week. You can see the crowd waiting for the next one to jump, waving to the camera. Very friendly Irish crowds here, always creating a great atmosphere around the arena. Plenty of cheering you can hear coming from the grandstands. That's our professional arena party. They are the same guys that were at the Olympics in 2012 and indeed at Belfast International Show. The cows not fazed by the show jumping in the field next door, happily chewing the cud. Their four stomachs ruminating. All the lovely flags around the arena from the very different nations that represented each of them at the European Championships here at the Green Glens Arena in Millstreet 2 weeks ago. For the young riders, the juniors and the children on horses. And of course the host nation Ireland taking gold in the young riders. There's Louise Sale and Laura Rennick down there as well. Both of them to go with Mr. Darcy and MHS Washington. We're going to have Louise first from what I hear. And we're ready to go. We can see Mr. Darcy making his way to the arena. Also, Laura Rennick, I think, is first to go with MHS Washington. Yes, it's Laura. So she's got the bell. We can see Dermot Lennon, our former world champion, at the right hand side of the entry pocket. Also one of our national course designers, Giorgio, who's very, very busy down in the national arenas. 6 different arenas jumping here at Millstreet, coupled by a second international arena and an indoor arena as well. It makes up a grand number of arenas for sure. Now, Laura knows what she must do. She's already left out of stride down to the tall vertical. Trusts this horse, obviously. Turns back tight. Oh, waiting. Gets deep, but gets away with it. Lands and moves up straight away. Good open shot. Lovely technique by the horse there, front and back. Jumps in on the angle. Jumps out, turning already. She's got to get sail. See with the reference there. Sailboat. Nautical compass coming up. Lands, turns right. Kicks on now. It's the last one from home. Takes a pull, then moves on. It's clear. Is it fast enough? Yes, it is, by quite a bit. She takes almost over 5 seconds now from the previous. It's Laura Reddick gone into first place with MHS Washington. Like I said, this particular horse won in the boomerang classes here last year for the 6 and 7 year olds. It's only 8 years old this year. Wouldn't that be magnificent if it could win in Millstreet Main Arena 2 years in a row? It's last to go. It's Louise Sable. She's already here a winner this week in the main ring with Mr. Darcy. Let's see what she can do. She's really going to have to go to it and be clear. She's already in second place at the moment. So she was tied her back to 15. Has the waiting stride again. Nice open shot to number 7. Yes, gallops now. This horse has a bigger canter stride from what we can see. This will be very close. Very, very close. She's already up there. Really gets a great shot to number 15 or 16 it is. Yes. Clear round all the way. Look at that. 0.17 or 0.17 goes into second place. We're talking hundredths of a second. Fantastic attempt. Into second place with Mr. Darcy. He's really earned his keep this week. He's paid for the bedding, he's paid for the feed, he's paid for the ferry journey, and he's paid for the entries. Not forgetting the diesel. Well done, Mr. Darcy. Well done, Louise Sable. So second and third for Louise, first and fourth for Laura Rennick. And what a fantastic thing to see. That Irish sport horse, MHS Washington, bred by the late great Ita Brennan. She's going to be looking on from above in absolute trepidation. Her horse has won here today. And not forgetting, MHS going global is about to jump at the Rio Olympics. Also bred by Miss Ita Brennan. R.I.P. So we have the result. Laura Rennick, she was first to go. She takes it with MHS Washington. It's the 1m50 Longines World Ranking class as sponsored by the Underwriting Exchange. In second place, it was second to go in the first round, Louise Sable with Mr. Darcy. In third, it was Louise Sable again, this time with Patrol, the 5th And in fourth place, it was Laura Rennick with Utrillo de Breve. That's one I really like. We're going to see a lot of it. It's a Stella Francais by Loxley de Breve. In fifth place, the fastest of our time falters, which was Mikey Pender for Ireland, with Z7 Cordanos the fifth. That one by Katoki and owned by Team Z7. In sixth place, the former world champion Dermot Lennon. He won here yesterday. He quietened those ladies, but they came back with a vengeance today. And he was riding Valiant, the chestnut stallion by Horse Lalui, out at the Luxy Sard Dam. That's the top six. We're going to be back with you for the 1 minute 35 class. It's the Speed Derby. We will have Mr. Chris Ryan in the driving seat with myself, Bill Maguire. It will be sponsored by the Irish Field, and we're hoping to start that class at 4:30. We'll see you then.
So we'll give you the full result again while we're waiting. Laura Rennick wins it for Great Britain with MHS Washington. In second and third, Louis Sable. In fourth again, Laura Rennick. Fifth for Ireland, Michael Pender. In sixth, Dermot Lennon. In seventh, Clifford Allen. And in eighth, for Great Britain, Stephen Crosby. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please be upstanding for the national anthem of our winning nation? Oh, well done to Laura Rennick for Great Britain. So we'd like to welcome John Gary from Connolly's Red Mills. Connolly's Red Mills, of course, with us here as our main sponsors. And they were also with us for the European Championships just a few weeks ago. And also joining us, our foreign judge with us this week, Nanny Law Connor, well, of course, based in America, but he's local from right here in Millstreet, and he's been with us here for the week. And also joining us, the president of the grand jury this afternoon, Liz Scott. As we said, Laura on board the Irish-bred MHS Washington. He's just a nature-old, so what a star for the future. By one of the Kendi stallions, a very, very popular stallion here in Ireland, OBOS quality. And as we said, bred by the Brennan family at the Millhouse Stud in Kilkenny. Of course, the Brennans also bred our only Olympic representative, MHS going global. In second and third, for Great Britain, it's Louise Sewell with Mr. Darcy and Patrol. So he's after a very good week here at Millstreet, the big winner on Thursday afternoon of our first international. In fourth place again, it's Laura Rennick, so first and fourth for Laura. In fifth place, Michael Kendall, member of our junior European team from a few weeks ago here at Millstreet. In sixth place, Dermot Lennon, another very good performance for Dermot, of course the big winner yesterday afternoon of our €25,000 class. In seventh place for Great Britain, Pippa Allen, and in eighth again for Great Britain, Stephen Crosby. So thanks once again to John Garrity and Connolly's Red Bells, and also the underwriting exchange.
No expense for this game. We'll see the Irish they have.
So please give them a big round of applause as they make their way around for our big winner this afternoon, Laura Rennick and MHS Washington.
Down the barn and down at the end of the year for 5 and 6 year olds. Yes. Brennan had a I think Brennan for the final I think that's the horse. Yeah, that your man gone to the Olympics, Broderick. Yes. Qualified. Gold Joe. No, that horse that won today. Oh yes. It was a Brennan horse, right? Yes. And Greg Broderick